U.S. Senate overwhelmingly approves ban on oil sales from Strategic Petroleum Reserve to China. Poll: almost 75% of Britons lack trust in the CCP and see China as a threat. Taiwan will buy 4 NASAMS systems from U.S. to strengthen defense in essential areas. People's Daily continues urging young Chinese to go to rural areas. Expert explains.
In a strong bipartisan show of support, the U.S. Senate has voted in favor of an amendment to an annul defense bill that seeks to prohibit oil exports from the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, SPR, to China. The measure was passed with an impressive margin of 85 to 14 votes in favor, exceeding 60 votes for inclusion in the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA. The NDAA sets crucial policy guidelines for the Department of Defense, and it's anticipated the measure will be ratified later this year. The call for a firm stance on China has been one of the few issues that garnered unanimous support in the divided U.S. Congress. Lawmakers from both parties have introduced numerous bills to address competition with the Chinese Communist Party (CCP) regime. Sponsored by Senators Joe Manchin, a Democrat, and Ted Cruz, a Republican, the amendment aims to safeguard national security by banning the export of SPR oil to China. The matter gained attention following President Joe Biden's decision last year to sell 180 million barrels of SPR oil to mitigate the impact of soaring gasoline prices due to Russia's actions in Ukraine. As a result of this sale, the SPR's inventory hit its lowest level in 4 decades, raising concerns among Congress members about the country's energy security, even though the U.S. has significantly increased oil production through advancements in fracking. Senator Chris Murphy, a Democrat who opposed the ban, expressed his reservations, stating, "This amendment creates the illusion of solving a problem while having very little political impact." Last year, U.S. oil companies sold more than 83 million barrels to China, and this year's figures suggest a further increase in exports to the country, with more than 76 million barrels sent to China through April. The next step involves the House and Senate conference, where they will work towards reconciling the final bill passed by both chambers and then signed into law by President Biden. Benjamin Salisbury, an analyst at Height Capital Markets, downplayed the potential systemic impact of the ban, stating that the SPR operates in a competitive bid market and is relatively liquid. It's important to note that the amendment also includes bans on oil sales to Russia, Iran, and North Korea. This move signals the U.S. government's intention to restrict crude oil exports to countries considered adversaries to the United States. With considerable support from both Democrats and Republicans, the amendment is likely to proceed towards becoming law. It could significantly impact oil trade dynamics between the U.S. and these countries in the future. The Senate's decision to another amendment to prevent the U.S. president from leaving the NATO defense alliance without congressional approval highlights ongoing efforts to shape the crucial national security policies with bipartisan backing. The full NDAA, expected to be voted on soon, typically garners widespread bipartisan support. A recent poll conducted in the UK by market research firm JL Partners on behalf of the British Foreign Policy Group has unveiled significant insights into the public's perception of the Chinese Communist Party, CCP, and its views on China and Russia as potential threats. The survey, carried out between May 26th and June 1st, collected responses from 2,158 British representatives and had been conducted annually since 2019. The poll found that an overwhelmingly majority of respondents, nearly 75%, expressed a lack of trust in the CCP. Moreover, only a few participants were willing to cooperate with the CCP regarding technology and infrastructure. The concern regarded the potential threat posed by China and Russia to the UK's national interests and was also apparent in the survey results. More than 40% of respondents believed that the Chinese and Russian governments posed equal threats. The findings indicated a prevailing sentiment against allowing Chinese tech companies like TikTok to operate within the UK, with only 15% of Britons supporting such a move. Interestingly, the level of distrust toward the CCP was consistent across age groups, with more than 90% of respondents over the age of 66 expressing their lack of trust. Regarding the UK's approach to addressing human rights abuses linked to the CCP, 42% of respondents favored challenging such abuses through cooperation. Regarding cooperation with the CCP, respondents displayed varying opinions based on age. Older participants favored value-based engagement, focusing on issues like tackling climate change. In contrast, younger respondents were more inclined towards greater cooperation with the CCP in academic and technological fields. As for international cooperation, the survey revealed that Britons generally perceived alliances like NATO, the Group of Seven Industrialized Countries, G7, and the Australia-UK-US Trilateral Security Partnership, AUKUS, as essential contributors to the UK's security. A considerable 75% of respondents believe that NATO played a significant role in ensuring the country's safety. The survey offers valuable insights into the prevailing sentiments among Britons concerning the CCP and its relations with China and Russia. The results suggest a cautious approach towards the CCP and a desire for continued engagement with established international partnerships to bolster the UK's security. Taiwan's Air Force plans to purchase 4 sets of National Advanced Surface-to-Air Missile Systems, NASAMS systems, from the U.S. to bolster its defenses amid concerns the Chinese regime could attack the island in 2027. According to Liberty Times report, on July 22nd, a Taiwanese government official revealed that in addition to 4 sets of NASAMS, Taiwan also purchased 300 medium-range air-to-air missiles from the United States. The NASAMS will be deployed in 4 key strategic areas of Taiwan: Greater Taipei, Qingchuan Kang Air Base in Taichung, Chaishan Air Base in Hualien, and Qihang Air Base in Taitung. The unnamed official added that NASAMS is a very flexible system in combat, because in addition to being able to coordinate with the long-range Patriot 3 missile defense system, it could also coordinate with short and medium-range missiles, such as the AIM-120, ARAM, and AIM-9X Sidewinder. The source said that Taiwan will use the NASAMS system to mainly protect air bases, seaports, and densely populated areas. The U.S. military has used the NASAMS system to ensure the security of Washington, D.C. since 2005. The source further revealed that in 2024, the NASAMS system procurement project will be included in the annual budget by the Taiwanese government and will be managed through a multi-year procurement program. The People's Daily, the official newspaper of the Chinese Communist Party CCP regime, recently published an article titled "Establishing a Correct Outlook on Employment," calling on young Chinese people to go to the mountainous and rural areas where the country and the people need them most. It has caused a stir in public opinion, with some netizens mocking "whoever initiates goes first" or "children of leaders need to set an example." The article also wrote, "The mentality of youth is inherently idealistic, dares to take responsibility, can endure hardships, and is willing to struggle. As young people, they should strive to become the vanguard and new force in various fields such as rural revitalization, green forest development, social services, and defense of the country and border, and at the same time, have to go and bring light and enthusiasm to places where the country and people need it most." The article sparked heated debates among netizens. Some sarcastically said, "Establishing a correct outlook on employment equals having the awareness to become qualified chives, exploited people, otherwise the lives of officials and capitalists will be difficult. If you don't suffer, how can officials of the People's Daily lie on the sofa drinking milk tea in front of the air conditioner? It is increasingly difficult for young people now to be fooled, and they have understood the truth. Working hard can't make them rich, because as long as you choose to suffer, you will never stop suffering." In response to the People's Daily article, political commentator Chen Pokong recently told RFA, "The language that the party media used to write this article is a copy of the language of the Cultural Revolution." He said Mao Zedong launched the Up to the Mountain, Down to the Village campaign in the past to mobilize the Red Guards to rebel and successfully overthrow his political rival Liu Shaoxi. On the other hand, if the Red Guards did not disperse, it would also pose a political threat to Mao Zedong. Moreover, because there were no job opportunities in the cities, sending the Red Guards to the countryside could solve many problems simultaneously. Chen said, "There are 2 reasons why Xi Jinping is launching the Up to the Mountain, Down to the Village campaign. The first is the economy. Now that Chinese college students are unemployed after graduation, China's economy has fallen to its worst point since the reform and opening up. It is difficult to find a job, and everyone is lying flat, doing nothing, so Xi wants to make them do the hard work that no one else does. Therefore, the People's Daily has come forward to urge them." In addition, Chen said the Black Paper movement in many parts of China last year frightened Xi Jinping, and most of the protesters were young people born after 2000. They gathered in the streets chanting, "The Chinese Communist Party stepped down, Xi Jinping resigns, so he wants to send these young people to difficult places." China's economy is going down, and the unemployment problem of Chinese youth is worsening. The number of college graduates in China will exceed 11 million by 2023, keeping the youth unemployment rate high. More and more young Chinese are choosing the four no's path: no love, no marriage, no buying a house, and no children.